In today's video, we're going to look at creating dynamic charts with pivot tables based on the same set of data. So the data that I have is set up here. It's just a series of transactions, financial transactions that have a description against them and are categorized and are set apart by the date of transaction. The transaction can either be a debit or a credit back into account. Before I set up the pivot tables, I want to create two additional pieces of data to make the pivot tables easier to use. I want to create a month column and I want to create a year column. So I set up my column headings and give them the same formatting. So I'll use the format painter. So click into the cell where I want to copy the formats, click on the paint format icon, paste over the formatting. So to create the month, it's just a question of doing equals month, open bracket, click on the date, close bracket, and it returns the number of the month, and I can fill down. And for the year, so equals, click on the date, close bracket, return, and it returns the year from the date. Now if you want, you don't have to do it, if you prefer to display the name of the month, you can use a choose function to do that. So I'm going to wrap the month function within the choose function. So the choose function takes an index and then a number of choices. So the index will be returned by the month formula, and then I'm going to open quotes and then type in my press return. There we go. So depending on the number returned by the month, it will return January, February, March, etc. So there is the additional data that I wanted. So now I can look at creating my pivot tables. So the first one I'm going to create is a column chart. I'm going to delete the sheet. So to create a pivot table, you click into your data and click on Data and Pivot Table Report. Now your first one will create Pivot Table 1. So what I want to do in this instance is select the rows and then click on Add Field and select Description and untick Show Totals. Then on the column section, I want to select Category and untick Show Totals, and you can see that the table is already starting to be built. And then on the Values section, I want to select Debit, and on the last section, on the Filter, I want to select Category. And the filter allows me to filter out items that I might not want to look at. So at the moment it's selected all items. I'm going to click on the down arrow and I'm going to click on Clear, and I'm just going to select Clothing and Footwear. Click OK, and I get a much smaller set of data. I'm going to click into the table itself and I'm going to click on the Insert Chart icon, and I'm going to select the column chart. Click on Switch Rows and Data, and then I can start customizing it. Click on Insert, and there is my column chart of clothing and footwear with different color bars for each of the department stores where clothing and footwear was purchased. If I change the data, so if I go from unselect clothing and footwear and I select something like groceries, just watch the chart change. There we go, the chart changes dynamically. And as you can see, we can have multiple charts in pivot tables based on the same set of data. So I can go back to sheet 1 and click on Data and Pivot Table Report, and I can now start building my second table. In this instance, I'll use a pie chart. So on the rows heading, I'll choose Category. I'll leave the columns blank, and under the values, I'll again select Debit. And under Filter, I'll select Month. So again, rather than looking at everything, I'll just select the month of August. And here is a selection of all category spend for the month of August in both years. So if I want to add a chart, I can click into the into the table of data and select Insert Chart. Select Charts and Pie Chart and choose my pie chart. I'll choose a 3D pie chart and click Insert. If you want to do some of your editing, you can do so after the fact. So percentage, simple as that. And once again, I can click into my data. I can change my data. Instead of looking at August, I can look at December and watch the chart data change and updates. So you can continue adding more data as you see fit. You can add a table and other types of charts. Thank you for watching.